Hello, everybody, and welcome to WordPress Wednesday. Shannon Wynn gets very excited about WordPress Wednesday. There's everybody loves a good W in their life. Okay, so today we are going to talk about WordPress hosting. Because we get asked about hosting all the time between our students and clients, and everybody in the world of WordPress and online business and tech are always asking about WordPress hosting. So we want to talk about that today. But before we talk about like which hosting provider and what features you should look for, let's start at the very beginning. Shannon, can you explain what is hosting? What is website hosting, and why do we even need it?
Right. So hosting is very important because this is where all of your files live. So basically your WordPress site is made up of a bunch of files and folders and everything. So you want them to live on this server where your hosting company is, and they can provide services, and they will basically your website is going to be broadcast from that hosting location.
Okay, so it's kind of like the middleman from your website and your potential clients seeing your website.
Right.
The hosting company is the middleman. You have to go through them, and they will then broadcast it out. So they kind of house the website and push it out there for the world to see all the glory. Okay, cool. So bottom line, if you want a website, whether your own website or a client's website, to be live on the internet for anyone to find and see and search for, it has to be hosted. And there are companies out there, and we're going to talk about those now, that exist that do this entire thing. So now that we know what hosting is and how we know we need it, let's talk about the most important features when looking at hosting companies. Because if you were to go into Google and search for WordPress hosting, you're going to get spammed from ads to bloggers that have been paid to talk about hosting, to everything. There's so much, and it's really, really hard to know what's legit and what is just trying to tell you to buy something because they're going to get a cut from it. So we want to talk about those features that when you're researching website hosting, you know what to be looking out for. That is important to you and your circumstances as to where you are now. So the 5 important features that we just came up with, there are tons that could be there, but when it comes to WordPress hosting, these are the things that we think are important to consider. Price. That's obviously that's important. How much are we going to pay for it? Security and reliability. Is the hosting provider going to keep your website online, or is it going to shut down? Or is it going to be secure, or is it going to be super dodgy and it redirects to a dodgy site that you don't want it to? Ease of use. So we're going to kind of start getting into like the techie side of things. And if you want something that is really, really easy and not complicated at all, then you might need to pay a little bit more for that. But if you want to pay the lowest amount, then it might be a little bit more complex. And maybe you want the complexity and you want to be able to, change all the settings and the features, and not a lot of people do. So just keep that in mind. Ease of use. 4th is auto backups. So bottom line, your website could go down, and it might get corrupted. You might get malware. There might be an issue, and you might lose the website. If there aren't backups, auto backups, ideally, then all that hard work could be gone. So a hosting provider that has auto backups, really important. And then the last thing we talked about was customer support. So if there is an issue, because at the end of the day, there is going to be, period. That's just how it works nowadays. If you have a website, there's going to be an issue at some point. So know that going into it and make sure you have good customer support with your hosting provider. But you also have people that you can rely on, that you can ask, and a community where they're helpful and they will help you troubleshoot and problem solve. So those are the 5 features that kind of come up. Any thoughts on any of those, Shannon, that are, I guess, that you think are, really important based on the years you've been working with our students and helping them through hosting issues, what are the real important things that you want to make sure that people kind of know when they're choosing a hosting provider, because it's a big decision. You can move, but it's really good if you can find a really good one from the beginning, because then you don't have to move.
Right. Yeah. So you're talking about price, and like you said, you don't necessarily want to go with just the cheapest price. So you're going to get, a lot of, like you said, you'll get spam mails of, oh, we've got this, super low price, and not all of them are going to be comparable as far as the features and that type of thing. So keep that in mind. Basically, you want to get the best value out of the web hosting that you're going to get. Right. So, and then as far as like security and that type of thing, a lot of hosting may provide a free SSL that, that security, the HTTPS, and some of them don't. So you have to kind of look and see if that's going to be an added cost with the hosting. And again, with, you want to make sure that their uptime is good, that your website's not going to be going down a lot. Also, like malware and that type of thing, you want to make sure that they have you covered, and that you're not going to suddenly log in your website and it's going to be just all sorts of things that you did not add to the website. So that's super important as well. As far as backups, like that is critical to me. That is like the one thing that I look for, to have that backup, because you will not even begin to appreciate it until the first time you go to like update a theme or a plugin or something, and all of a sudden, like, code shows up on the front end of your site, or it says you've suffered a critical error, something like that. And to be able to take a deep breath and then go and hit a restore backup and have your website come back magically is like the best feeling ever. Yes. And I will pay more for that every single time. And like I have we're going to talk about the hosting later, but I have Flywheel, which does daily automatic backups. So I know they've always got me covered. Yeah. And then customer support obviously is super important. If you do have something that you absolutely can't figure out, your site has gone down, and you don't even know where to begin to get into the site, or to figure out what's going on, to be able to contact somebody from customer support and have them help you out and walk you through it and get things back to the way they should be is an awesome experience as well. So definitely want to have that.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen, and we're going to show you 3 hosting providers that we regularly recommend for different reasons. And we're going to talk through the pros and cons of all 3, just so you have an idea of what's out there and what those examples of hosting providers are. There are so many. There's some really, really good ones. There's some really, really bad ones. So we've picked, a few that tick multiple boxes here to give you that example. So first we have, and Shannon already mentioned Flywheel. We have Flywheel. This is my personal favorite. Shannon, that you use this is your favorite. They are really, really good. They tick all the boxes that we talked about. The only thing here is the price point is going to be a little bit more than the other ones. But that's because they have great security and reliability. The ease of use is the easiest I have ever seen. They have the auto backups. Their customer support is amazing. So really the only thing here with Flywheel is the price point is a little bit more, but if possible, I highly recommend going with one of the kind of premier WordPress hosting companies like Flywheel, because your sanity, your heart rate not skyrocketing, like all those things will be so much less stressful with a really solid hosting provider like Flywheel. And P.S., our students, WP Rockstar students, do get 50% off Flywheel. I'm not getting, it's not an affiliate commission. None of these are linked or anything like that. But we have a partnership with Flywheel, and we like them so much and they like what we're doing. They've given a 50% off discount to our students. So just kind of heads up there. The next one I want to talk about is SiteGround. So this is a really popular hosting company. Very, very big. They tick most of the boxes. Their price point is one of the lowest. They're very low cost. So if price is very important to you, then SiteGround might be a good option for you. The security, reliability, ease of use, auto backups, customer support, I'd say they're fine, but they're not as good as Flywheel. But if price is really important to you and you need something that is as low as possible, then this is worth considering for sure. And then the third one that we're going to talk about is Cloudways. Now, Cloudways is really good. They also tick all of those boxes. The one where I think they might fall short a little bit is ease of use, only because Cloudways is very much get in and do it yourself. And there's a lot of things you can change and very specific settings and adapt this and change that. So if you're super techie and you love to know all the detail that's going on, you would probably love Cloudways. But if you want something that's a little bit more hands-off and you want to be able to click a couple buttons and do exactly what you want it to do and have customer support where they can help you, then this probably isn't the hosting for you. Would you agree with all of those assessments, Shannon?
Yes. And I realized I forgot to talk about sort of the interface and ease of use. And like Julia was saying, Flywheel is by far the easiest to use for, especially if you're new to hosting. And a lot of hosting providers use something called cPanel, which is a little techie and a little hard to kind of find what you need. And Flywheel just uses a very easy interface, and you can go and you just click on your website. You've got a little icon there, and everything is just so easy to find. And like I said, they have a restore backup button if you need to restore a backup with one button click. So SiteGround also, they just about a couple of years ago, I guess, updated their interface. So that is much easier to use. It's not quite as easy as Flywheel, but like you said, the price point is also a little bit lower. So that's to be taken into consideration. And then Cloudways is a lower price point, but it is a little bit a very different sort of interface. So it's probably, if you have a little bit of tech knowledge and you want to dig in and pick servers and set up a lot of things, then that's a good option for you. And they're very reliable and have good customer service as well. So
yeah. Awesome. So I think, as we said throughout, if you are looking for WordPress hosting, we highly recommend Flywheel. We partnered with them. They're excellent. They're really good to us, to our students, to clients, to everyone we know that uses them. But if price point is something that is very important to you, then maybe check out SiteGround or Cloudways as alternatives to that. Excellent. Well, thanks very much. If you have any interest whatsoever in mastering WordPress, we do have WP Rockstar. You can Google it and check it out. Any questions, let us know in the comments below. And what else do you want to learn about WordPress? We're going to be doing these weekly and giving you little tidbits about all things WordPress that we can think of. So any questions you have, let us know, and we will see you next week. Bye, everybody.